Hello, everyone. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Today, we are here for some Survivor, episode 12, season 48. I'm live on YouTube and Twitch. Making sure the thumbnail is right. Thank you for the subscriptions. I made it just in time today. Let me tell you why. Last week, I was not feeling well. This week, I'm feeling fine, but very tired. And I just woke up from a nap. I did not intend for it to happen this way. But I've been working all day in calls. Just wrapped up and was like, I'm so tired. I'm going to just lay down for a second and take a nap. And then I did, and I woke up about 5 minutes ago. So, hopefully this episode doesn't put me back to sleep. Just thank you for the 27th. Genius episode 4. Haven't done it yet. But I will do it either tonight or tomorrow morning is the plan. I will tell you, part of what I've been doing is trying to get this stupid Devil's Plan video to pass. All right, hold on. It's the episode starting. I think you can hear this. There you go. Oh, guys, you'll never believe it, but the time is now. Do you want to see all of the attempts? Hold on. Here are all of the attempts at the Devil's Plan. They keep getting blocked. The problem is I got one through. But it was just a test. It didn't have like me in the right place. Oh, Kyle. We're back to Kyle and whether he's going to make a move. I tried to repeat it. I tried to have the same size. It's just nothing's working. I just feel like we've been getting the same storylines. Thank you for the 70-second. Oh, we didn't do a prediction. Sorry, like I said, I just woke up from a nap. I apologize. Commercial by 512. Do 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 do. Pretty shot. Arm-based challenge. Mm-hmm. See that? I think the 45th. No time. Think of the 22nd. Who decides who's playing the best game, Shaheen? Is it you or is it them? I'm pretty sure they're the ones with the jury votes. I mean, probably think of the 41st. Is this commercial? Whoa! Wildly early commercial. Next prediction. Challenge? Are we getting a challenge? Is that why we had such an early commercial? Obviously, there are many issues with this season, but like the last, I feel like 6 weeks in this season have been so heavily Joe focused. It's all about Joe to the point where it's either Joe wins or whoever it is that finally decides to take out Joe wins. And it's just, we're just beating the same drum. And I feel like there has to be something more interesting to do here. I would say more recently, they've leaned into Kyle as the guy that takes out Joe. And Camilla also to some degree. But like Joe is still, I think, the focus. You know what I mean? Like Joe is still the person that is either the guy or the guy that you take out. I wonder if we'll see extended footage of Fly. We'll see. We'll see. Um, how do I feel about the? Okay, so Devil's Plan, as I mentioned, I'm trying very hard. I don't. Given my failures today, I tried another like 5 times. I don't think I'm going to be able to get it working on YouTube. Um, so people have suggested different things. Um, there's a world where like I put it behind like a Patreon or something, maybe, but I don't quite frankly know if there's enough interest for that. Um, so we'll see. Daily motion. I mean, at the end of the day, like they take so much time and effort. Oh, hold on, episode's back. Like it either has to be. Wow, I think we might be getting a challenge. Wow, it's all stormy. Jeez. Yeah, I'm not gonna say yes until we know for sure it's a challenge. Certainly looks like one. Reward challenge. Who wins? Shaheen, Joe, Kyle, Camilla, Mitch, Eva. Good things happen. Spend the night. That has game ramifications. We're doing letters from home. Yeah, letters from home really doesn't have the same impact as family visit. Because family visit is like, wow, we get to share this experience together. Letters from home is like, I get to hear from my family, which is obviously still very meaningful for those people, but like, it's not quite the same thing. Do they have to hold it this way? Can they not go this way? I feel like underhand would actually be a little more comfortable. Maybe I'm wrong. No, you know what? It's too wide, I bet. I think I would theoretically do well at this. However, like Shaheen, I have a little bit of a wrist issue. That depending on its whether it's like flaring up for me might cause a problem with this one. I don't think I have a ganglion cyst. I don't know what that is. Camilla's position to me looks better. She has straighter arms. Looks like Eva has a similar spot. I would assume if you can keep your arms straight, that's going to be the best position. But again, it might be too wide for that. I'd also, by the way, like, I don't know how in the rules this is, but like, I'd take my shirt off. Like, Eva here has an advantage, I think. The more skin you have on the board, the more friction, the less amount of weight you're holding up. What is this face montage? Will it tear your skin? Probably. But you know. He say no heels? Ooh, legs out. Camilla just drops. So legs out, you're going to want to, again, just get as much skin contact as possible. Down goes Mitch. Kerplunk. She used her feet. And Joe just drops. Shaheen is really using as much of this legs skin on his legs as possible. He has also let the shirt behind him ride up so that he has a little bit of back on the board as well. Kyle's legs are completely off the board. His shirt is tucked in. He has no skin. There it is. Cysts be damned. They're giving Shaheen something here. Little bit of a mini arc. Shaheen with a pretty good return here. Surely it's more than one person. Surely it's two to three. One more. I think decent reasoning there. Depending on how valid it is. Joe has kids. Kyle's about to get married. Oh, are there more votes? Idols. Idols, yes. Idols, no. All right, here we go. We've got, first of all, let's do a prediction. Any advantages in the next segment? Yes, no? These are new advantages. Any new advantages introduced in the next segment? Okay, your last big decision regarding gameplay. Idols are a big part of today's game and responsible for some of the most dramatic moves in Survivor history. But for Survivor 50, you get to decide. Idols or no idols? Oh, and it's just one vote. No idols. I don't like idols. I want to take Survivor back to its roots. A very simple game where a reliable alliance was the single most important thing and could take you all the way to the end. Or, yes, idols. Are you serious? I love idols. They reward players who hustle, and they create uncertainty that can change the game at any moment. I feel like it's putting words in my mouth no matter which one I choose, quite frankly. I mean, I'm not anti-idol personally. I think idols are fine. We got a bunch of other stuff that I'm not as fond of, but like, I don't have an issue with idols. I feel like they can be fun. They don't usually take a whole lot away. It's honestly strange to me that they'd even consider taking the idols out. I was thinking of the 66th. I am feeling better, yeah. A little tired, but it was really just that day, Wednesday. I didn't sleep the night before because I wasn't feeling well, and I just wasn't feeling well that day. But then mostly recovered by Thursday. Christine, thank you for the 34th. Cool to hear. I mean, I would say yes, idols, but it's also hard because it's like I don't know the results of the other stuff. Like if you tell me that the audience said yes to more twists and advantages, then maybe I would say no idols because I think we've already probably got enough. But I don't know. I don't know what they chose. Lady, thank you for the 35th. I did hear Tucker and Rubina broke up. I heard it from Mike Bloom because we recorded a podcast about the premiere date for Big Brother. What? Haven't even talked about it yet. Just under 2 months away. All right, we're back. Patty, thank you for the 55th. We can talk about Big Brother next commercial. Oh man, the skin. I was about to say that. I feel like you get letters from your parents like this and they're saying all these nice things. It's like, do these people normally say these things? Or is it something about writing a letter? Oh boy. If you're this concerned, you should have taken a shot earlier. If you're worried about Joe winning immunity at 6, how about this? I have a good idea. Vote him out before 6. Cheers a burger. He's so weird about the bag thing. Astor, thank you for the 8th month. Yeah, I don't quite understand what they're trying to have Kyle say there. Basically, like he's been waiting for Shaheen to say he'll make the move so that he can take out Shaheen, and then from there they'll have the numbers to take out Joe and Eva. 5 and 4. Like that feels risky. I mean, Joe and Eva are locked safe next round. No, how long does the power without safety without power last? I don't think they know about it, but like you have to be concerned. Oh, it already expired. It expired at 7. Oh, that's interesting. All right, let me. No advantages. Let's do. Do we get another challenge? Doesn't seem likely, but we'll put it there anyway. Yes, Big Brother 27 premiere date July 10th. We know that there are going to be 90-minute Wednesday episodes. Just Wednesdays. The premiere Thursday and Sunday will be 90 minutes as well, but they will then move to 60 minutes. In addition to that, there's going to be a Friday, every other week on Friday, there'll be like a sideshow episode with alumni talking about the show, talking about the game, apparently. So, and yes, it did say new players. All right, we're back. We're back. Oh, that was quick. He's so excited to rat out Shaheen. Well, he has had it in for Shaheen for so long. Oh, I forgot this was in the preview. Wait, what? I was about to call this genius, but I don't understand the idol part. I'm so confused. So the plan is to not care about taking Joe to the end and say that you won because you were able to trick Joe. Except you waited until Shaheen really was willing to turn on Joe. So how much of a trick is it? Because Shaheen will go to the jury and say, yeah, I was looking to turn on Eva and Joe. And sorry, I'll wait for this. Oh man, it's just tough. No challenge, but we'll run it back. I mean, the thing is, he said at the start of that, like, his sister was a huge fan of the show. She's the reason he's there. So, like, um, I think it makes sense that it could make sense at least that, like, um, he wants to say it there on the show, you know? I think that there's a lot of judgment that people have for, I mean, in general, the way that people express grief. Um, but certainly a big part of it is that, like, you're not supposed to express grief in a public way. And so, like, the idea of filming your grief, filming it yourself or having somebody else film it can often, I think, lead to this sort of gut reaction of being like, this shouldn't be filmed because it's either attention seeking or it's like exploitative or whatever. Um, and it certainly can be, but it's also like it doesn't have to express itself in a way that makes sense to you. And it doesn't have to be something that is private. It can be something that, like, maybe Joe does want to say that on camera um, because of the connection that him and his sister have to Survivor now, and for that to be a living document of this moment, something that is aired to millions of people that will, like, be there forever is, um, that doesn't have to be attention seeking. It doesn't have to be bad. It's just something that maybe he feels good about, you know? And maybe he doesn't. Maybe he wanted to do that privately and they were like, no, we're going to film this. In which case that would suck. Um, but like, if that was his choice to do, and I would, I don't have a lot of reason to believe it wouldn't be, um, then I think it doesn't change anything about it. Still a beautiful moment. All right. Let's go back to Kyle because like thing of the eighth, I don't understand this move on so many different levels because it's almost something I would really like. Leveraging the secret relationship would be a great way to turn Joe on Shaheen because Joe can, like, double check information with Camilla, not realizing that they're in cahoots. Now, the thing is, they've been exposed multiple times. I don't know why anybody would believe that they weren't together, but we're back, by the way. But given that they seem to be gullible enough to not believe or not see it, there's a lot of value to making this play. The question is, why make the play on Shaheen? He's like, I don't want this to be Shaheen's move. But he had every opportunity to make the move himself. He specifically has said he was waiting for Shaheen to make the move. Which just tells me that he just doesn't want to make the move and he's trying to find excuses to not make it, which I think is how I would see it if I were on the jury. If he sat there in the final three with Joe and said, and I'm like, why didn't you take out Joe? And he said, well, I didn't take out Joe because I showed that I was actually in control. I undermined Joe's game by taking out Shaheen. I'd be like, what do you mean? Shaheen was trying to take Joe out. And you knew this. And you took out Shaheen instead. How is that undermining Joe? How is that not just gifting Joe the final 3 spot? Why not take out Joe or Eva, go along with this plan? At final 5, you take out Joe or Eva. And then at 4, it's kind of 3-on-1. You, Camilla, Mitch against Shaheen. It's kind of phenomenal. Oh, yeah. Sorry, prediction. Who wins? Kyle, Camilla, Shaheen, Joe, Eva, Mitch. Because, like, the thing is, Camilla has a connection to Mitch. She can use that relationship plus Kyle to have a good solid block of 3. Which means after this vote, as long as one of those 3 doesn't leave, you can control the votes. Your only concern at that point are idols, immunity wins, and jury threats. And Joe is all 3 of those things. And Eva is at least 2 of those things. Ooh. I mean, I think they showed they had the Joe's story here with his sister because this was the most impactful time to show that story. I don't think it has any. I wouldn't assume that it has any deeper meaning than that, Edgic wise. I don't think Shaheen can win this because in the next time on, we saw that Kyle and Camilla went through with the blame Shaheen plan, and they wouldn't have done that if he wins immunity. Woo! Oh God, she's gonna hurt herself. That was dangerously close to a fly slow-mo shot. I feel like the next time on really spoiled this. Boop. A very elite record. What do you mean? The plan was Shaheen before Joe won immunity. All right, next prediction. Does Eva mention her idol? This can be in confessional or in conversation. I feel like this is very unlikely to be Eva at this point, given how little she's been in the episode. I guess she did have a moment or two. Well, to be fair to Camilla, she did try to get Joe voted out before now. Unlike Mitch. Um, I feel like I've already talked through the Kyle plan and why I don't think it makes sense. I mean, they could still just get lucky, and neither Eva or Joe win immunity at 5, and they're able to take one of them out, and then the other one loses fire or something along those lines. Um, but man, it just doesn't feel like the smartest way to go. Sure does feel like just an excuse to not have to betray Joe. Oh, What is happening? Why are they whispering? Oh, I hated that. I hated that. It was probably an effective commercial because it got people's attention, I imagine. But man, I hated listening to that. All right, we're back. So this is what they showed in the preview. They showed it like seemingly not working, which is why I feel like it might work, even though it feels like it's not right now. Then they go to Camilla, and then they're like, oh, maybe it's true. It'd be a very silly thing to lie about what Camilla might say. Like taking when Kyle cues it up, taking Camilla for this at face value makes no sense, or as confirmation makes no sense. Which is why I think it would have made more sense if he had prompted Joe to go to Camilla on his own. It's also like, why? Yeah, why would he show Camilla, and why would Camilla, upon being asked, tell Joe? I mean, this has to be Shaheen, right? Eva mentioned the idol. I mean, it makes no sense to vote out Shaheen for Joe, regardless. Even if Shaheen was doing that, because at the end of the day, Mitch just wants you out anyway. You know what I mean? Like there's not actually a difference. You could say maybe because Shaheen has an idol, but like, or at least he thinks he has an idol. But that really doesn't make that much of a difference either. If you trust Kyle and Mitch, or sorry, Kyle and Camilla to be telling the truth, and that Shaheen did turn on you and does have an idol, then you theoretically should trust that they are not going to make a move on you at 5. In which case, you just vote out Mitch, and then you ride with Kyle and Camilla, or even just Kyle. In the event that you can't trust Kyle and Camilla, you don't vote out Shaheen. Like, either way, you shouldn't vote out Shaheen here. It shouldn't matter what you believe or not. It's thank you for the 38th. Who is voted out? Joe, Eva, Kyle, Camilla, Shaheen, Mitch. I mean, so my thing is that, like, just edit wise, does it even make sense for Mitch to go here? It's certainly like there's no world where it can be Kyle or Camilla because they have Mitch's vote. So they can just lock it in as a tie, and it's not going to be a tie. So it has to be Mitch or Shaheen, and Mitch has barely been in this episode. I mean, you know, you could maybe have this be Mitch, but like, Mitch makes a lot more sense as like a, you know, either final 3 get no votes person or unceremoniously voted out in the finale person. I just I think I'm annoyed because like I really like the moves. I really like this move in theory. But in practice it just doesn't make a lot of sense. And I have to assume that if it works, then just straight up Kyle or Camilla wins the game. But I have a hard time believing that's because they undermined Joe's strategic game. You know what I mean? Or maybe it is. Maybe Shaheen goes to the jury and sings Kyle's praises. You know what I mean? All right, we're back. Yeah, I mean that's the other thing. It's like if you think Shaheen has an idol, and you basically just had like the biggest tip off in the world that something's wrong, you're prompting him to play that idol. If the idea is to blindside him so that he doesn't play the idol, that's obviously not happening. I think I think it has to be Shaheen. I think the entire edit all season long has been painting Shaheen to fall to Kyle. Okay, do they make that edit if he isn't reading Kyle is lying? That's a very strange thing to edit in if he believes Kyle. Okay, now we're doing it to Shaheen too. Okay, never mind. It's still Shaheen. I mean, it still implies that Joe is doing something right. I just can't get over how little sense it makes to vote out Shaheen if you're Joe and Eva. Especially because like you're now worried about the fact that I guess Eva thinks I'll just play my idol if he plays his. Come on, he's not making the decision there. The fact that there's hesitation implies again that it's probably just Shaheen. All right. Shaheen. Mitch. That was Shaheen's handwriting if I've ever seen it. Next vote decides. Mitch! It's just Mitch. No, it is Shaheen. There was an extra vote for Mitch. It's just Shaheen. Shaheen. Are we meant to infer that Joe switched his vote at the last second? Like, oh, I didn't actually believe it, but Eva did, and so Shaheen left. I guess we'll find out. we could do a quick prediction actually. Who else voted Mitch? Joe, Kyle, Camilla, Eva. 30 seconds on the prediction. If it was Mitch himself. um this kind of reminds me a little bit of Big Brother 21, where it's like this you know, this lie was developed to, you know, convince people to, you know, essentially change their minds. Um but like it's not straightforward that just like, oh, hold on. Camilla. That is a huge payout for Camilla. I think one person put money on Camilla. That's a return of like 120K on like whatever they put in, I think. They put in like 130. Oh, it looks like it was two people. Um, yeah, you could frame somebody. You could use it to just continue to hide the connection to Kyle. Um, here's what I will say. I think that what this has proven is that keeping relationships a secret has so much value. Um, Now, just because you have a lot of value and you have a lot of like leverage because of that value doesn't mean you're going to do like the right things with it necessarily, but you can do a lot of things for sure. Um it's also, I guess it's possible that Camilla voted Mitch as you know what I bet it was? Actually, thinking about it, I bet Camilla was tasked to vote Mitch. Because the entire idea was that Shaheen might have an idol, might play the idol to take out Eva. So if Shaheen plays the idol, Eva might have to play her idol, and then that would block all of the votes. And then the last vote left would be the one for Mitch. So theoretically, Camilla then votes Mitch out with that vote in a spot where both idols are played. Um, I think this move will probably be remembered more fondly than I feel like it actually feels right now, just because it, you know, it's something. And especially because Joe was immune here. Uh, if they say in exit press like, hey, we actually came up with that plan after Joe won immunity, that would change my mind on it a little bit. Um, like needing to get a little creative to make a move here makes some amount of sense. But I think there were just straight up better moves if you can take Joe out. Taking Eva out also just makes a lot of sense here. You still have a majority moving forward. You still undermine Joe's credibility. But what I will say is that, like, given that Joe is immune, I think that, like, I'm not anti this move. I do think that there is value to it. I think there's value to it in multiple ways. And one of the ways is because I think, sorry, I'm rambling a little bit here. When the plan was introduced to us, it just didn't make a lot of sense because Joe was not immune and Shaheen seemingly was trying to flip on Joe and Eva. Given those two factors, the plan made no sense. However, once Joe becomes immune and seemingly Shaheen backs off of the plan to vote out Eva, this move makes a lot more sense. Now, in the edit, they didn't really like focus on those factors because they don't really care if we like the move or not. They're just going to present it in the way that we're supposed to feel in the first place. But given those two factors, it does make more sense. I still feel like there were better and easier moves. I think the way that they attempted this was very unnecessarily risky and, quite frankly, should not have worked. It's a testament to how bad Joe is at the game that it did. Because, as I said, the case that was presented to him shouldn't have led to the logical conclusion that you vote out Shaheen. It should have led to the logical conclusion of, okay, let's continue to vote out Mitch then, and we'll deal with Shaheen next time. So there are a lot of issues, but the thing is, they played Joe. They played on Joe. They knew how Joe would react to something like this. They know that Joe is hot-headed, and so he would react in this way. And so I'm not going to fault them for that. In fact, I'm going to credit them for that because I think that knowing that they could manipulate Joe in the way that they did and then effectively doing it is everything that you're looking for in Survivor. It's just that, like, again, the fact that this plan had to be put into play in the way that it was in the first place just doesn't make a lot of sense. There were opportunities to make a move earlier. Again, I'm assuming at this point that it works out. So it's going to be hard to say that this was not a great move. And ultimately, I think it will probably be remembered as a great move. And I think probably fairly so. But, and we go through this all the time on these shows, but like in the moment, looking at it, you know, in the same way that in Big Brother 21, a lot of people looked at the decision to take out Tommy over Holly. Holly. Sorry. What was her name? No, it was. It was Jackson and Holly. I don't know why I thought that was wrong. The people thought the decision to take out Tommy over Holly, they remember it as such a tremendous mistake. Yeah, right, because her name is really Beth. Thank you. Because of the outcome. And I remember saying that at the time, like a lot of people are looking at this as a tremendous mistake, but in reality, this is such a wash either way that it will depend on what happens, how people remember this. And they ended up losing. And so people remember it as a tremendous mistake. I think the same thing is probably true of this, where it's like, was this like a top tier phenomenal move? I don't think all the pieces are there, but it's impressive. It's an impressive move, and I think that's important. And if it ends up working out, people will look at the impressive move, they'll look at it working out, and they'll say, "That's a phenomenal move. That was a great move." And that's kind of how history is written. You know what I mean? So at the very least, they gave us something to work with in this season. But again, it does remind me a bit of BB21, where it's like, toward the end of BB21, we were like, hey, at least we got something. At least we got some kind of move being made. You know, we'll see what happens. I can't say, especially now that the move has been made, it just feels like the finale is just waiting, you know, just waiting for the end at this point. But that's been the case for the last few seasons anyway. It has been a very Big Brothery season of Survivor for sure. Can we talk about Devil's Plan? I've still only watched the first episode because I've been trying to release this so that I can make a second episode. I will continue to work on that. Maybe there's a world where we do some kind of Patreon release or something for Devil's Plan. And then ideally future shows as well for that kind of stuff. If it doesn't go on YouTube. But it would also, again, have to, it just depends on like what kind of actual demand there is for it. Because it's not something I can like genuinely even like afford to do if unless there's, unless I'm able to put it on YouTube or, you know, whatever. It's very time consuming. But it's a very good show. Looking forward to watching more of it. Still can't use show footage on Patreon. I mean, I've seen that it's basically easier to do there. But hey, maybe it doesn't work there either, and then there's just no way to do it. I have seen Devil's Plan season 1, and it's phenomenal. All right. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I will be making a Genius video probably tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. We got Big Brother stuff coming up. We got a retrospective tomorrow and the season 27 premiere in just under 2 months. So exciting stuff. Thank you for hanging out with me here today, and I'll see all of you later.